Welcome back to my channel, everyone. This will be the third tutorial for web scraping. In this tutorial, we're going to scrap an interesting data from Yelp. It's about top restaurants in any area or any location we are going to search for. Also, I would like to mention that not all the websites will allow you to do web scraping. So I was trying to do web scraping for Groupon, and it was really giving me a hard time, and I found it not the best application to start for beginners. But also Yelp did give me some hard time while I was scraping it, because HTML used to change while I was writing the code. So it really will be a fun journey together, showing you these obstacles and how I was able to overcome it. So before jumping into the code, I would like to show you the final product and how this application going to work. So in the beginning, it's going to ask me about the destination or the location I want to do my research. And here I'm going to search for London, UK. So I'll copy that. So let's put that here. And while it's running, I'm going to refresh my page just to make sure that I'm getting the latest information, because data it changed a lot quickly. So as you can see here, I'm getting the 10 top restaurants. So in our data, first we got the title of the page or the name of our tab. So as you can see here on the tab, it's saying top 10 restaurants in London. Here I do have the name of the restaurant, the location, the rate, and the style, and the reviews. So let's take the first one and compare the data we got. So I have here the Mayfair Shippy. It's in Mayfair. It took 4.5 stars, and the style is fish and chips, and it has 471 reviews. And as you can see, this data is actually accurate here. And also, let's go like the last one, the golden shippy, and we have it here, and it's also reflecting the same data. Um, Also, we can look into other places. So let's take here Paris, France, um, and let's copy that, put it here, and let's see what are we going to get. All right, so we got the first one, Bistro de Augustine, and we have here the location Saint Michael, and the as you can see the sum of the punctuation, or the accent, won't appear the best in our CSV, so it's required like a specific encoding. I'm not going to go deep into that because we want to focus on the web scraping here, but later on we can have another tutorial about a CSV and types of encoding. And here it's giving me its style pistro and 481 reviews, and also I have got the last one, uh, which is okay. As you can see, uh, the last one, number 10 in the web page, it is actually number 9 for me here. And we got like, I think this was like petit picture. So as I said, data it changed. So there was a change between in time between when I did run the code and the time I did refresh my page. Also, we can try another area or another place in the US. So let's try for Washington, D.C., maybe, for example. Let's take that. And maybe we don't need to refresh our page. I think it's reflecting the same um, data here. Yes, it's reflecting the same data. And actually, it looks good. But as you can see here, the first one, it did not give me a location. So let's go up. It did not give me a location because there was no location in that placeholder. Also, I want to show you here something that in this Hamilton place, there is no location. It gave me a dollar sign. So let's go here into that restaurant. As you can see, there was no location, but why it did give me the dollar sign? This is again one of the obstacles that I found. Data get to change in the HTML, and sometimes it's off, or sometimes the class that having the location, it is the same thing, it's the same class that hosting the dollar sign or the class name have multiple values. So this is normal, you will have that. But so far, I think the application looks really great and it will be very helpful. Another thing I want to mention, that we're only getting the first top 10, but there is also pages here that maybe you would like to have a look over. But I found to loop over the pages will not be the best for a beginner. But let me know in the comments if you would like me to go over that. I will be happy to cover this in another tutorial. So I have cleared my code so we can build it together, and I'm only have the code that we used before in our previous tutorials. So here inside the URL, I'm going to grab the Yelp URL, and we're going to search in London, UK. And in that line, I am sending a request. If we got 200, that will means that we are okay to scrap the data. Then I'm using the beautiful soup to scrap this page, and I'm getting the title. So let's run that. As you can see, we are good to go. We have 200, and here we have the top 10 restaurants in London, United Kingdom. Now let's scrap our page. So here I'm going to use my inspect tool. And what we want to get here is we want to get the top 10 restaurants from number 1 all the way till number 10. So in order to get that, I want to focus on this 10 restaurants. So I'm going to use my selector tool here and try to find where it is highlighting all the 10 restaurants. Um, so as you can see here on uh, class unified list, it is highlighting all the restaurants, starting from sponsored results, and I believe all the way, let's see, okay, all the way till the end. And I was actually hoping if I can find a class that's only hosting the 10 restaurant, but it seems that this is not exist. But looking up here, let's make that bigger and let's get the first one. So looking up here in this class, as you can see, I have a list of all the restaurants. So I believe this is, it's hovering over the top 2. So here is my sponsored, and going down, this is the first sponsor. We don't need that. We want from M&M. So let's go down. So starting from this list, I'm going to get my first restaurant, and same here, I'm going to get the second restaurant. Yep, and so on. So first of all, let's get all the data that's inside this class. So we'll start with soup.find, and then we will find this class. And in our previous tutorial, I did show you that sometimes we get the class attribute by having in the beginning the tag, maybe like a div tag, and then we write in it inside the dictionary our attribute, like the class and the value. In this tutorial, I'll show you a different way. So we'll start with writing class underscore equal to the value of our class. So just like that. And why class underscore? Because we have a class related to Python. So in order not to have any issues, so for beautiful soup, it's class underscore. Let's put that into a variable called maybe div, and let's print that div out, and let's see what's going to give us. None. Okay, yep, I think there is a space here. Great. Now we have some data. As you can see, it's not easy to look into it. Also, let's use the prettify method. And let's run the code again. Okay, so let's try to find the first one. Okay, so here, the Mayfair Shippy. Again, it's not the same data that is here, because this is like an updated. I need to refresh my page in order to see a reflection of what I'm getting. It seems like M&M dinner is number one, but it's not that a big of a deal. We are going to search for the HTML itself, which will be most of the time the same for the rest of the restaurants. Now we got like inside this div, inside this class, I have all the list of the restaurants. So we can start to loop over all the tags that we are having inside this class. So let's start loop inside this div. And let me change the name. Maybe I will name it like chords, since like I can see all the data looks like in a chords. So let's loop inside it. So start by saying for chord in chords here, like that. And again, when I print chord, it should give me uh, the same data that we got from the div. So let's comment this out and let's run here the code. Now let's go to the top. As you can see, I have the first two lists that we did so here. So let's go to the exact class. Let's go up here. All right. So in this class, as you can see, the first two were like I think hovering over uh, somewhere in the top part, like here, sponsored result, and that this was Pizza Hut, and my first restaurant was starting from this list. So just put in mind this two list where they does not have any tags inside them. Let's start by getting the name of our restaurant. So we'll use the selector tool. Let's select over the name. And as you can see, let's make that bigger. As you can see, it's here giving me the anchor tag where I can see the name. So the name is inside the anchor tag. And here I do have a class. So let's try to grab this class and see from that class we can get the text. And inside here, let's print that and say chord dot and then find that class. And here I need to put underscore. All right, and let's print that out. All right, as you can see here, I got all the anchor tags that are inside this chord. And you can see I have here Mayfair Shippy. Also, I get flat iron. But here we have the first two top tags were giving me none. There's no anchor tag inside them. And also um, the last ones is still empty. So again, when we look into the data here, inside this UL inside this class, we have a list of chords, and not all of them referring to the top 10. Okay, some of them are empty, like the first two, and that's why we are getting here none for the first two. So if we did try to put dot text, eh, it will throw us an error because, again, these first two tags have nothing inside them. So in order to bypass this error, maybe we can use an if statement, or the other easier way that we can say I need to start from the third one in the list all the way till the number 10. So we can do that by saying starting from number 2. And why number 2, not number 3? Because in coding we start by 0, so this is considered to be not 1. This is count as 0, so 0 and 1, and then we'll start from number 2. So when we put number 2, and here I will show you if we added 10, it will give us. So when we look into our data, so let's go up here to our class. By the way, the UL here represents an unordered list of items. So I have here this list, and inside it, the LI is an item inside this list. So here, the first two items were empty. There is no tags inside them. And the same thing when we let's close that all the way to the bottom. We have here like three are empty and have here also another one. So that's why we are getting here none in our data. So there is two ways we can solve this issue. Either we can use an if statement to declare if the item is none or does not have any tags, so pass that. The other way is we can say in our code, give me from the first restaurant in our the first item or the first restaurant in our data till number 10. And to do that, we need first to convert our cards, which is a soup object, into a list. We will use a method called contents. So this will give me a list of all the contents inside this list. So let's start by typing cards dot contents, and let's print that out. And also let's remove that line, and let's see what's going to give us. Okay, so let's go up. As you can see, it's giving me all the items inside my cards list. So another thing I can show it to you is when we put here, let's say 0. Let's comment that out, and let's see when we say give me the first in the list, is giving me the first top one, which was an empty. So let's grab the first restaurant, and it is number 2 in my list. And here in coding, we do not count by number 1, we start counting by 0. So this is considered to be number 0, and then 1, and then 2. So here we'll get number 2 item, the second item in the list, and that should give me, as you can see, the first restaurant, the Mayfair Shippy. So now, in order to get only from the first restaurant till number 10, we will type from the second one till number 12. And let's run that to see. So if we did try and go behind that, like maybe number 13 in the list, as you can see, it give me something like of 1 out of 24. So now we're going to start to loop from the second one in the list till number 12. And here we're going to replace that with my code. So let's grab this line and replace it instead of cards. And let's comment that out. Now let's run the code. We should get only the names that inside this list, and as you can see, I have no issue. So now we can put dot text and run that again. We should get only a 10 total of restaurants. So now let's put that in a variable and call it name is equal to cards and then dot text. Next, let's put that down. We're going to get like how many stars this restaurant is getting. um, so here I'm hovering over the stars. So let's grab this part. As you can see inside this div, I can see whenever I expand it I get more data, and it's hovering over. So this class, it's showing that it have the reviews. I need the first one, which has the rating. So let's open that. The first one, it seems like having the stars. The second one is showing me the number of rating. So let's open that up. Okay, so here, as you can see, let me make it bigger. Here, as you can see, I'm getting it 4.2. So in order to get the 4.2, we will need to get this tag, the span tag, and this class. There is two ways. We can literally say, search for this tag, the span tag, where the class is equal to this value, or we can do the same thing as we did here in the top, just search with that class. But if you have the class value is not unique, you will get bunch of data. You will get a lot of data that you don't need. So now let's type that here. So we can call it rate is equal to card dot find, and in that we'll say class, same thing, and we'll give it the value. This was a value, and to make sure, let's print out rate, and before that let's do text, and let's print that out. Now as you can see, it's giving me the rates of the restaurant. Next we will need to see the reviews. So let's get this back up. So as you can see here, the reviews is inside this class. So let's do the same thing here. Let's say reviews is equal to card dot find, and then class, and let's print that out to see our data, and let's remove that in order to see the reviews data. Now this is very interesting. We are getting none, although here we can see that there is a data inside this class. So what is the reason behind that? This is something I want to show you, that sometimes when you grab the class, if it's not unique, it will extract something different for you. So sometimes when you grab the class without the tag, it give you an off data. So let's try to include the span in our code. So I'll start by adding the tag span here, and let's run our code. Now as you can see, we got the tag, and our value is inside it. So now we can do text, and that should work. Next, let's get the type of our restaurant. So here it's showing us it's a Mexican or a diner. So to grab that, this is a class that's hosting this data. So same thing, we will copy that, and let's remove this line, and let's name it style is equal to card dot find, and then I think we can here use only the class, and see if it did give us a hard time, we can always add our tag, and let's print style. Oh, better. Okay, now it looks good. So now let's get the location here. So let's use a selector, and here this is a class for the location. So let's grab that, and let's type location is equal to card dot find, and here we'll add the underscore, and let's print location. Let's try to do text, and it should give me the locations. So now since we got our data, let's save that into a CSV, and I'm going to use the same code I used it before in our previous tutorial. So let me copy that, because we were going to use the same thing. So start from here, and I will name this Yelp, and here our header, we're going to change it to name, and then we'll use rate. Next we'll do reviews, and then style, and actually location will be the better after name. So let's do this location. So now we have the So now we have here the header. We will copy that line and put here, and then we just need to move the quote so we can write the data of each variable like that. Okay, and I have the name, location. Oh, it's not the same thing. It's typing. And we have rate, we have reviews, we have style. It's a small letter. So now let's close our data. So say F close like that, and let's run our code. Okay, now let's see our CSV here. So we have Yelp, and as you can see, it's giving me the data of each restaurant, the location, the rates, review, and the style of the restaurant. Now let's make our app as a dynamic where it take an input and grab our data for that. So to do this, I will have here a I will have here a variable called destination, and inside that I will type input. So it will take an input. In here, I'm going to say, please enter your uh, destination. And here, instead of London, UK, we can remove that and replace it with destination. So let's remove that and let's put a placeholder. Again, I can explain that in more details in a separate video, but for now, just follow me. So now let's run the code and see what we can do. So let's do London, then UK, and let's see. Okay, it's getting us the data. Let's run it again, and let's do maybe, I don't know, Amsterdam. Um, Maybe. Oh, that's a lot. But anyway, okay, it seems like it's working. So yeah, it is working, giving me uh, the data. So maybe we can do what else? Let's do, maybe we can do Switzerland. I don't know. Maybe we can do that too. Let's type here Switzerland. Okay, so it it did actually work, yeah. So at the end, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope this mini application will be so helpful for you, where you can scrap the data from for the places that you are going.